Hey everyone, welcome back to Dave's Shop. I'm Dave, and today we're going to be doing a new project. I've talked about it. If you ever joined me on Morning Coffee Talk, you'll know what I'm talking about. But we're going to do another wall like this on the opposite side of the garage. So that's the project we're going to be working on today, and I'm going to show you step by step how I do it. Okay, so here's the first thing. As you can see behind me, you can see I have penciled lines all across the wall, and they start from the top and go to the bottom. Now, what these indicate is these are marking where the studs are, and you need to know that and have them marked so you know where to nail, which is what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to use my 18 gauge brad nailer, and I'm going to nail all of the cedar planks to the wall. If you don't have a nail gun, you can use finish nails. You can also, they make some specialty, really small screws, and you can screw it to the wall too, but you need to have your studs marked. Now, in most houses, studs are on 16-inch centers, so probably one of the easiest ways to find your stud is, pick you up one of these stud finders. They're 10, 15 bucks if you don't have one. I'm going to put a list of the tools that I use and the tools that you might need to do the same job. Not really very many. I'll show you this over here too. I'm going to be using my Roby nail gun and just pop that open there. And my step ladder. This is the Gorilla step ladder that I picked up at Home Depot. If you're ever looking for one, this is a great one to have. Anyway, so that's really all the tools that you need. You'll take your stud finder. They're on 16-inch centers. Start from whatever side of the wall you want to start from. I started in the corner, and this first line here is where the first stud is. Now, this is not 16 inches from here, and it's because you have a door casing there. But doesn't matter what your wall is. You want to find your first stud. You can use this and then mark it. And if you want to confirm, just get you a small nail and a hammer and nail it in the wall and just confirm that you have hit a stud. Once you find the first one, you can measure 16 inches off of each one. I use a 4-foot level for a straight line. I started at the top. I just get on the step ladder, start at the top, hold it there, make sure the bubble is level. That way you know your line's straight, and mark down halfway. And then once I get here, I'll mark the bottom half. So once you get that done, the only other thing that I would suggest that you do when you start that is start at the top of the wall. Every wall is a little bit different. They may not be totally square. So if you, the pickets I'm using are 5.5 inches wide, and I'm using fence pickets, and all I'm doing is cutting the dog ear off of them so that they're square. And when you get down to the bottom, sometimes you may not quite have enough space to put a 5.5 inch picket in there. So if that's the case, a couple of times I've had to go down to the 3.5 inch, and that be the final one, to finish that very last row. But anyway, we're going to do this step by step, and I'm going to get started, and then I'll show you where we're at. Okay, so you can see how far I've made it so far, but this is the one thing I wanted to point out to you are your seams. You don't want your seams to run directly in line. You want to offset them and overlap it. It just makes it look a lot better and gives it a more rustic look, like it's not perfect. And it's not perfect. You see how some you got a little tighter gaps than the others? Don't overthink that. That's fine, because some of these fence pickets aren't perfectly straight. They'll bow a little bit as they dry after you brought them home from the big box store. Anyway, so I wanted to show you that. So just make sure you don't put all your lines directly in line with each other. You want them offset. and you'll see them on each end. And you want to go start with the longest board, go one direction, and then cut a short one. And then on the other end, start, if the short one ends on that end, then start with a long one coming back this way. That way you'll always be offset, okay? I wanted to show you one little safety feature here real quick. So you saw earlier in the video when I set this gun down, luckily, just so you know, it didn't fire. It only hit this little gauge here that popped open the nail cover, okay? But anytime, if you have a nail gun, a battery powered nail gun, or even a air compressor connected to your nail gun, if you're loading nails, if it's battery, you want to have the battery disconnected from it so it doesn't misfire on you, because let me tell you, you shoot one of those in your hand or leg or foot, they hurt. So for safety, always, if you're loading, disconnect this. Secondly, if you happen to have the battery and you pick up the gun, make sure you don't have your finger on the trigger so you don't shoot yourself. So just a quick safety tip. Most people already know it, but it's real easy to get to working and stop thinking. So always do safety first on this part of it, because I surely don't want anyone to, accidentally shoot themselves with a nail gun. Anyway, so that's what I have so far. I'm going to continue on, and then we'll take a look once I'm done. Okay, everybody, done. And you can see what the finished product looks like. Took me, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours to do. Hope it was helpful. If you got any questions, make sure you put them down in the comments. I'll be glad to answer any questions. I'll put some helpful links and stuff in the description of the video. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and until the next project, I'll see you then.